Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Renu Kataria with the evening news. The headlines. Centre committed to fully eliminate left-wing extremism in the country, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Steps also taken for the development of affected areas. Heavy rain batters normal life in several parts of Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. Schools closed in various districts of Madhya Pradesh also claims 5 lives in Uttarakhand. India and Iran emphasize on sustained collaboration to make Chabahar port instrumental to regional growth. India hands over 21,000 tons of fertilizer to debt-ridden neighbour Sri Lanka. In sports, third and final ODI between India and Zimbabwe underway in Harare. In badminton, Indian shuttler Lakshya Sen advances to second round of men's singles at BWF World Championships in Tokyo, and Indian chess prodigy R. Pragyananda defeats world champion Magnus Carlsen in the last round of the FTX Crypto Cup in Miami. And now, the news in detail. Union Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah has said that the central government has taken several steps for the development of Naxal-affected areas, which substantially reduce the left-wing extremist violence. He said the centre, along with the states, is committed to fully eliminate the problem of left-wing extremism. Mr. Shah said this while chairing the 23rd meeting of the Central Zonal Council in Bhopal. He said the number of left-wing extremist violence incidents reduced to 509 in 2021, which was 2,258 in 2009. He added that over 1,000 people died in extremist violence in 2009, while 147 people died in 2021. He said the central government is further strengthening the security forces in left-wing extremism-affected areas, under which 40 new security camps have been opened in the last 3 years and 15 more will be opened. Talking about the development initiatives taken to counter the Naxal problem, Mr. Shah said the government has opened about 5,000 post offices along with postal banking centres in insurgency-affected areas in the last 3 years. He said more than 2,300 mobile towers have been installed in the first phase and 2,500 mobile towers are being installed in the second phase to speed up telecom services. The minister added that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has always worked to strengthen the spirit of cooperative federalism. He said the frequency of meetings of the zonal councils have increased. He said the increase in the number of meetings, despite the COVID-19, emphasizes on the concept of Team India. The 23rd meeting of the Central Zonal Council discussed the significant progress made towards expansion of banking facilities within 5 kilometers of all villages as envisioned by the Prime Minister for expansion of the banking network in rural areas. Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, Pushkar Singh Dhami, attended the meeting, while Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath, and Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh, Bhupesh Baghel, attended the meeting virtually. Later, Mr. Shah performed Bhumi Pujan for the construction of Bhopal campus of National Forensic Science University. This is the 5th campus of the National Forensic Science University in the country. Speaking on the occasion, he said about 80 crore rupees will be spent on the construction of this complex.
फोरेंसिक साइंस के क्षेत्र में कुशल प्रबंधक, ट्रेन मैन पावर और व्यवस्थाओं की जो क्षति हमारे देश में महसूस की जा रही है, उसको पूरा करने के लिए नेशनल फोरेंसिक साइंस यूनिवर्सिटी का 27 एकड़ भूमि में एक परिसर आज यहाँ भूमि पूजन होने जा रहा है, जिससे मध्य प्रदेश के हजारों युवाओं को राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर फोरेंसिक्स के क्षेत्र में काम करने का मौका मिलने वाला है.
Mr. Shah also inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of various residences and administrative buildings of Madhya Pradesh Police, costing 450 crore rupees in this program. In Odisha, the northern districts continue to reel under the impact of flood, while water level of major rivers like Brahmani, Baitarni, Budhabalang are gradually coming down. That of Subarnanekha is still flowing above the danger mark. As a result, many areas have been inundated, leading to evacuation of about 40,000 people in the flood-affected Balasore district alone.
As per reports, 3 North Odisha districts like Baleshwar, Mayurbhanj and Keonjhar are deeply impacted by the flood, Baleshwar being hit the worst. While all the major rivers in these districts are experiencing either stagnation or a decrease in water level, that in Subarnarekha River, meandering through Baleshwar district, is flowing above the danger level. Big flood due to water surge in Subarnarekha is feared between noon to afternoon today, following release of excess water by Jharkhand through the Galudi barrage. In anticipation, the Baleshwar district administration has evacuated thousands of people to safer places, with more than 50 Gram Panchayats being completely inundated. While the local administration has made adequate arrangements for fooding, shelter and medicines for the flood-maddened people, teams of NDRF, ODRAP and Fire Service Department have been deployed in rescue and relief operations. Meanwhile, a number of areas in western and coastal Odisha are now recuperating from inundation following vicious rainfall and reduced discharge of water from the Hirakud Dam, water level of which now stands a little above 622 feet as against its full capacity of 630 feet. Girish Chandrata, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Heavy rains continued in many parts of Madhya Pradesh for the third day. Schools were closed in some districts, including Bhopal and Sagar. Rivers, drains and other water bodies were in spate in large parts of the state, and gates of many dams were opened to release water. In Uttarakhand, at least 5 people were killed and 12 went missing in the last few days due to heavy rain and floods in several districts of the state. SDRF and NDRF launched search and rescue operations in the affected areas. Meanwhile, Dehradun District Administration has distributed over 24,70,000 rupees as ex gratia to 28 families affected by the calamity. State Minister Ganesh Joshi distributed relief checks to the disaster-affected families at Maldevta in Dehradun today. The relief and rescue work is going on a war footing by the district administration in the affected areas. Meanwhile, IMD has predicted extremely heavy rainfall over West Madhya Pradesh, East Rajasthan and North Gujarat during the next 2 days. The IMD issued a red alert for these states over expected rain up to 200 millimeter. Talking to AIR News, senior scientist in IMD, R.K. Jenamani, said that the flood situation is improving in the states of Odisha, Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. He said there is also no major rainfall expected in Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand in the next 4 days.
One depression is located just southeast of Guna, 60 kilometers only. And because of that, the West MP and East Rajasthan, they will be receiving a very heavy rain. And then for tomorrow, it will be moving to further west to Rajasthan, something near southwest of Kota. The heavy rainfall warning also will be there for tomorrow for Rajasthan and the Gujarat region. For other region, it is only the eastern India like Odisha, Bengal, we have lightning thunderstorm and heavy rainfall for 23rd and 24th. And for the Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh, this will be mainly on 24th actually, some heavy rainfall.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Haryana and Punjab on 24th of this month to dedicate 2 important health initiatives to the nation. During the visit, Mr. Modi will inaugurate Amrita Hospital at Faridabad and dedicate Homi Bhabha Cancer Hospital and Research Centre to the nation in Mohali. Amrita Hospital is a super speciality hospital which will be equipped with 2,600 beds. The hospital will provide state-of-the-art healthcare facilities to the people of Faridabad and the entire NCR region. The Homi Bhabha Cancer Hospital and Research Centre is a tertiary care hospital with 300 bed capacity and is equipped with modern facilities to treat all types of cancer. Election Commission today reiterated that submission of Aadhaar in Form 6B is voluntary. In a tweet, the Commission said no entry in the electoral roll shall be deleted on the ground of non-submission of Aadhaar. The new Form 6B, which came into effect on the 1st of this month, has been introduced for collecting Aadhaar number of existing electors to authenticate the entries in the electoral rolls and make it error-free.
In Chhattisgarh, more than 4 lakh state government employees went on an indefinite strike from today. The employees are demanding dearness allowance at par with the central government employees and a hike in house rent allowance. Over 80 employee associations under the banner of Chhattisgarh Employees Officers Federation are participating in this strike. Judicial Employees Association and revenue staff have also extended their support to the agitation. The functioning of about 52 state government departments has been affected due to the strike. Meanwhile, the state government has directed the district collectors to continue with the work through alternate arrangements. In Uttarakhand, the recruitment process for Agniveer is going on across the state. Over 1,08,000 candidates have registered so far. Recruitment is underway in Kotdwar for Garhwal region and Ranikhet for Kumaon division. In Ranikhet, over 3,000 candidates of Bageshwar district participated in the recruitment rally.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Centre committed to fully eliminate left-wing extremism in country, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Steps also taken for the development of affected areas. Heavy rain batters normal life in several parts of Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. Schools closed in various districts of Madhya Pradesh also claims 5 lives in Uttarakhand. India and Iran emphasize on sustained collaboration to make Chabahar port instrumental to regional growth. India hands over 21,000 tons of fertilizer to debt-ridden neighbour Sri Lanka. In sports, third and final ODI between India and Zimbabwe underway in Harare. In badminton, Indian shuttler Lakshya Sen advances to second round of men's singles at BWF World Championships in Tokyo, and Indian chess prodigy R. Pragananda defeats world champion Magnus Carlsen in the last round of the FTX Crypto Cup in Miami. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ भाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back to the evening news on All India Radio. Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has said the double-engine government of the state and the centre has made Himachal a leading state in the country by setting new records of development on the strength of its commitment. He said Prime Minister Narendra Modi has given a big gift to Himachal by restoring the 90:10 ratio between the centre and the state in development projects. Union Minister was addressing the program Celebration of 75 years of formation of progressive Himachal at Dadsiba at Jasma Paragpur area of Kangra district today. He said the double-engine government of the centre and the state has set new dimensions of development and the state has made unparalleled progress in all areas in terms of development as compared to other states. Anurag Thakur said that the construction of the Central University in Dehra will also start soon. Talking to the media on the sidelines of a function in Kangra district, Anurag Thakur took a jibe at Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal regarding the liquor scam and said Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia have no answer to the liquor scam.
पूरा चेहरा बेनकाब अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का हो गया। शराब घोटाले के किंगपिन अरविंद केजरीवाल जी हैं, मुख्य आरोपी नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया जी। दोनों के पास कोई जवाब शराब घोटाले का अब तक नहीं। केजरीवाल जी चुप्पी साधे हैं। केजरीवाल जी जवाब दो, जनता जवाब मांगती है, मीडिया जवाब मांगता है, समाज जवाब मांगता है। आखिरकार किसने लूटे, किसने खाए, सबकी जांच सीबीआई कर रही है।
The BJP has sharpened its attack on AAP-led Delhi government over alleged irregularities in the implementation of the excise policy. Party workers under the leadership of Delhi BJP chief Adesh Gupta today staged a protest near Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's residence in the national capital over the issue. Mr. Gupta demanded that Mr. Kejriwal should remove Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia from his cabinet as he is accused in the case registered by the CBI. He also said that BJP workers will go door to door across the city to tell the people about the alleged corruption. Earlier in the day, addressing a press conference, BJP spokesperson Gaurav Bhatia refuted claims that it offered Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia to join the BJP. Mr. Bhatia said it has become clear that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and Mr. Sisodia have no answer to the questions of the people posed to him.
भ्रष्टाचार पकड़ा गया है, जनता प्रश्नों का गोल दाग रही है और वो गोल पोस्ट बदलते हैं। जिनकी नीयत खोटी है, सोच छोटी है, उनको कोई क्या तोड़ेगा? आपका अहंकार तो दिल्ली की जनता तोड़ रही है। ये सब अनर्गल बातें करना बंद करिए और आपको अगर इस बात का अहंकार है कि आप भ्रष्टाचार करके जनता का जो रुपया है उसे लूट कर उत्तर भी नहीं देंगे, आपका अहंकार और गुरूर भी टूटेगा और ये सुनिश्चित किया जाएगा कि जनता का जो एक एक रुपया है उसकी वसूली हो।
Mr. Sisodia had earlier claimed that BJP offered to close all CBI and ED cases against him if he joins them. In a tweet he said all cases against him are false. During a press conference in Ahmedabad, Delhi Chief Minister Mr. Kejriwal said the Delhi government had no other option than to return to the old excise policy from the new policy as there was a pressure on the officers from the Delhi Lieutenant Governor and the central agencies. Mr. Kejriwal said that the new policy is very good and he is ready for a debate over it.
Former Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Sushil Kumar Modi has condemned the incident of lathi charge in Patna on the students demanding to conduct the 7th phase of teacher recruitment. In a tweet, Mr. Modi held Chief Minister Nitish Kumar responsible for the delay in the appointment of teachers in the state. He said instead of fulfilling the legitimate demand of the students without further delay, the students who were seeking jobs were beaten up. Mr. Sushil Modi also demanded suspension of the additional district magistrate who was seen beating up a student in a video. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for the 1.3 billion citizens across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani Ke Saath, reliving the journey of India since independence over the last 75 years with All India Radio. From 15th August, the series is being broadcast on All India Radio, 100.1 FM Gold Channel, primetime news bulletins and across all its platforms. Tune in to stay updated with All India Radio.
In today's episode, we bring you the story of the presidents of India who served the nation from the 25th July 1987 till date.
The President is the constitutional head of the state of India and the supreme commander of the armed forces. The President is referred to as the first citizen of the country. There have been 15 presidents since the post was established when India was declared as a republic with the adoption of the constitution in 1950. Ramaswamy Venkatraman was elected as the President on the 25th of July 1987 and continued till 25th July 1992.
We are reminded today of the revolutionary among saints Mahatma Gandhi of sacred memory. Softer than the cotton he spun in his compassion, but harder than steel in his resolve, Gandhiji galvanized the entire nation into heroic action.
Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma held the post from 25th of July 1992 till 25th July 1997.
आजादी के 47 वर्ष बाद आज हर भारतीय के सामने एक राष्ट्र के रूप में जरूरी काम यह है इस आजादी की रक्षा की जाए और आजादी से मिलने वाले लाभ सभी लोगों तक पहुंचाए जाएं.
Dr. K.R. Narayanan served as the President from 25th July 1997 to 25th July 2002.
Honorable members, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this first session of the Parliament in 2002.
Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was the president from the 25th of July 2002 to 25th July 2007.
I, Harul Pachir Jainlabuddin Abdul Kalam, do swearing in the name of God that I will faithfully execute the office of the President of India.
Pratibha Patil held the post from the 25th of July 2007 till the 25th July 2012.
I,
Pratibha Devi Singh Patil, do solemnly affirm
to serve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Pranab Mukherjee was the president from the 25th of July 2012 to 25th July of 2017.
I, Pranab Mukherjee, do swear in the name of God that I will faithfully execute the office of President of India and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect and defend the Constitution and the law.
Ram Nath Kovind was elected as the president on the 25th of July 2017 and served till 25th of July 2022.
मैं रामनाथ कोविंद ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति के पद का कार्यपालन करूंगा.
The present president Draupadi Murmu took oath on the 25th of July this year.
मैं द्रौपदी मुर्मू ईश्वर की शपथ लेती हूं कि मैं श्रद्धापूर्वक भारत के राष्ट्रपति पद का कार्यपालन करूंगी.
Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath can be accessed on @AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat Ki Baat Akashvani ke saath.
The National Health Authority has issued hardware guidelines for healthcare institutions like hospitals and clinics at state level to facilitate effective implementation of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission (ABDM). The guidelines provide a basic framework to states and UTs for planning, assessment and procurement of the IT hardware to operate applications compliant with Digital Mission. Talking about the guidelines, Dr. R.S. Sharma, CEO, National Health Authority, said that the first step towards ABDM implementation is digitization of hospitals. He said several states and UTs expressed the need for some guidelines that give them an overview of the IT infrastructure requirements based on the health facility size. India has handed over 21,000 tons of chemical fertilizer to the crisis-ridden neighbor, Sri Lanka. India's High Commissioner formally handed over the consignment under the country's special support to the people of Sri Lanka. This follows 44,000 tons supplied last month under the Indian support, totaling about $4 billion this year. In a series of tweets, the High Commission of India in Colombo said the fertilizer will contribute to food security and support the farmers of Sri Lanka. The High Commission said it demonstrates benefits to the people from close ties with India and mutual trust and goodwill between India and Sri Lanka.
India and Iran have emphasized on the sustained collaboration to make Chabahar Port an instrument for regional growth in trade shipments. The role of Chabahar Port as a trade multiplier was highlighted by the Port, Shipping and Waterways Minister Sarbananda Sonowal during his meeting with Vice President of Iran Mohammad Moghber at Tehran in Iran today. Mr. Sonowal reiterated the importance of the bilateral relationship between the two countries and highlighted the potential of Chabahar Port to act as a swift economical trade conduit between Central Asia and South Asia. The Vice President of Iran said the development of Chabahar Port would lead to an increase in trade and shipment volume. During the meeting, the two leaders discussed about further bolstering the Indo-Iranian bilateral relations. Earlier, Mr. Sonowal attended a bilateral meeting with Roads and Urban Development Minister of Iran, Rostam Ghasemi. On the occasion, both the countries signed a memorandum of understanding on recognition of certificates of competency in unlimited voyages to help seafarers from both the countries. In a significant development in the Indian football, the Supreme Court has passed a direction to terminate the mandate of the Committee of Administrators, COA, which has been constituted by the court to manage the affairs of the All India Football Federation, AIFF. A bench comprising Justices D.Y. Chandrachud and A.S. Bopanna passed this order in the light of the decision taken by the FIFA to suspend AIFF, which construed the functioning of the COA as a third-party interference. The court modified the earlier directions related to the COA and the elections of AIFF so as to facilitate the revocation of the AIFF suspension and to ensure that India can host the Under-17 Women's World Cup in October 2022 as scheduled. The central government requested the Supreme Court to end the mandate of the court-appointed Committee of Administrators, COA, for the management of the All India Football Federation so as to lift the suspension of AIFF by the FIFA. The centre made this request to the court after the negotiations with the FIFA over last week.
In cricket, India defeated Zimbabwe by 13 runs. All-rounder Sikandar Raza scripted a fighting century. India won the series by 3-0. Earlier, India set a formidable target of 290 before Zimbabwe. For India, Shubman Gill registered a swashbuckling first ODI ton. For hosts, pacer Brad Evans claimed 5 wickets. Earlier, the visitors decided to bat first after winning the toss. In badminton, Indian shuttlers Ashwini Ponnappa and N. Sikki Reddy entered in the second round today, defeating Maldives pair A.N. Abdul Razak and F. Abdul Razak in women's doubles event of the BWF World Championships being held in Tokyo. It was a straight game win, 21-7, 21-9, with the contest lasting just 21 minutes. Meanwhile, Tanisha Kraso and Ishan Bhatnagar defeated German duo Patrick Schiele and Franziska Wokman by 21-13, 21-13 in the mixed doubles event, making to the second round.
Indian chess prodigy R. Pragnananda defeated world champion Magnus Carlsen in the last round of the FTX Crypto Cup in Miami, an international chess championship this morning. Despite the win, the 17-year-old chess player bagged the second position in the championship since Carlsen had a higher score based on previous games. Pragnananda defeated Carlsen in the blitz tiebreak after the score was tied 2-2 at the end of the regulation game. Pragnananda rose to prominence in February this year after defeating world champion Carlsen in an online chess match. At the Airthings Masters Rapid Chess competition, Carlsen lost to Pragnananda, then only 16. Moreover, in May this year, Pragnananda defeated Carlsen at the Chessable Masters Online Rapid Chess Tournament.
The Sensex and the Nifty today plunged around 1.5%. Both key domestic stock indices fell amid the negative cues from global share markets. The Sensex finished below 58,800 points, while the Nifty ended below the 17,500 mark. A report from the business desk.
The Sensex tumbled 872 points to finish at 58,774. The Nifty declined 268 points to settle at 17,491. At the forex market, the rupee weakened 10 paisa to 79 rupees and 87 paisa against the dollar. At the multi-commodity exchange, gold futures for October was trading at 51,165 rupees per 10 gram. Silver futures for September was trading at 54,755 rupees per kilo when reports last came in. And global crude oil prices declined 0.5%. Brent crude was trading at $96.20 per barrel. Anubha Rohatgi for AIR News.
Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Mumbai is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Kolkata is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with a few spells of rain or thunder showers. Chennai will witness a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Srinagar and Muzaffarabad are expected to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Centre committed to fully eliminate left-wing extremism in the country, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Steps also taken for the development of affected areas. Heavy rain batters normal life in several parts of Odisha, Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh schools closed in various districts. Also claims 5 lives in Uttarakhand. India and Iran emphasize on sustained collaboration to make Chabahar port instrumental to regional growth. India hands over 21,000 tons of fertilizer to debt-ridden neighbour Sri Lanka. In sports, third and final ODI between India and Zimbabwe underway in Harare. In badminton, Indian shuttler Lakshya Sen advances to second round of men's singles at BWF World Championships in Tokyo. And Indian chess prodigy R. Pragnananda defeats world champion Magnus Carlsen in the last round of the FTX Crypto Cup in Miami. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.